possession goes to the Falcons.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best players in the MAC. He's ranked nationally in a couple of categories. We'll get to that. It's going to be a great matchup here tonight.
And boy, they excited to have Matheny back running the point. The offense opens up for Bowling Green when he's in there. They can go to the whole playbook, something they weren't necessarily feeling comfortable doing early in the season when he was unavailable.
Absolutely. He's been a big-time help, according to the head coach. And like you said, they could open up the playbook because he knows the offense so well.
Ayers will try a three-point shot. That one's a little too long. Rebound by the Falcons. You saw the matchup initially with Matheny on Spears. Might look like a size mismatch, but as Coach Michael Huger says about Matheny, he is a real pit bull and could give anybody problems.
That's exactly what he said, and I always like to watch pit bulls, particularly on a basketball court.
He's trying to go around Spears here. Spears hangs with him, challenges the shot, and it's played by Acuff, kept alive for the Dukes. Behind the back crossover from Spears. Now we'll set up the offense. Like you said, Ellis, looked like they wanted to run there. Trey Williams will try a tray. That one's no good. 0 for 2 from outside for the Dukes to start. Diggs with the rebound for Bowling Green. Left-hand drive is good. And that's Samari Curtis looking smooth with the left, high off the window. And the first basket goes to the Falcons.
From Xenia, Ohio, and certainly a very, very high pedigree player we'll talk about tonight.
Williams working on the block, trying to set up a move with the left shoulder. Now out to Easley. Three-point line drive way off, barely grazed the top of the rim as the Dukes are having trouble from distance to start the game. Curtis again, nice feed underneath, bounces around, and it's kept alive for a third opportunity as Plowden finally puts it in for the Falcons.
Yeah, you can see this guy's built like a man, and I'll tell you what, at 6'6", 215, he's every bit of that, averaging 15 a game, but again, he's tops in rebounds and also with blocks, so that's a total game.
Reese looks like a presence inside too, doesn't he, number 20?
Yep.
Long and rangy, very bouncy, athletic player.
That was the exact word that Coach spoke about when he referenced his game, bouncy.
Ayers will try another three, and that one's a little bit too long as well. At the elbow, a rebound for Williams. Spears will pull up at the opposite elbow, and the ball falls in the waiting arms of Trey Diggs. 9.7 points per game and 3.6 rebounds per contest for him. Back the other way, here comes Duquesne in transition as Ayers is too strong in the layup. Lost it going up, and it's going to stay with the Dukes.
Now the Dukes right there showed flashes of what we talked about with that transition. They really had tremendous ball movement the other day against American. I think that's something they want to continue to build on.
Mentioned how both these teams have similar challenges moving forward in the open. That's how do they get all these new players that each club has to play well together. Both teams still surfing through that. Easley's been playing well all season though for Duquesne, and now has a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way from distance. Hasn't been working out for the Dukes, so Easley puts it on the floor, drives, and lays it in and gets the foul.
You know, in his career, he was the Southern Conference 2019 Freshman of the Year at Chattanooga, and then he moved over to TCU and now through the portal to Duquesne, where he has scored in double digits in 6 of 7 games.
11 new players for the Dukes. We've talked about that at length so far this season. 6 new players, 5 via transfer for Bowling Green, but they're playing 11 different guys, 11 minutes or more.
Well, yeah, there's no question when you look at their stat sheet, that jumps out immediately. I always go to minutes first to see if it's balanced, and they have a lot of it.
Long two. Rebound for Acuff, who's been solid and steady just about every game. 3 to 6 points every game. Very efficient when he's gone in there. Now Ayers gets one to fall. That's the one area of his offensive game that still hasn't risen to what the expectation level has been for the Dukes when they brought him on board. The drives to the hoop and his ability to hit the mid-range jumper has been there, according to Keith Dambrot. The three-point shot, which is usually pretty true for Ayers, just hasn't been there so far this year, but he gets that one to fall, and now Duquesne trying to get a little run going. After back-to-back solid offensive possessions, Spears with the pull-up, tries to angle a bank in, and it's rebounded by Bowling Green into the hands now of Matheny. He goes to the left, comes up short, and it's boarded by Easley. Didn't know that Matheny was behind him, barely got the pass away. Acuff has the loose ball now. Gets it to Williams, will back in. Lost control of it for a moment. Good feet underneath the Ayers, who makes a nice cut.
Thought Williams made a great job there just to keep his composure when it looked like he was losing control, and ended up getting a dish down to Ayers down low. By the way, the Dukes 2 of 10 shooting so far, 3 of 10, pardon me. And in the transition game, it's been infrequent. It's not been great in terms of success in their setup game.
Plowden, the turnaround jump shot rattles out, and Ayers is there for the board. You saw the nice cut from him. They really like that aspect of the game. He moves well without the ball, and when he gets it, they also think he can do a good job of passing the ball. Like right there, that's a good bounce pass to Williams. Over the top of his head and off the window. 10-4 Duquesne.
Well, that's, let's say, 2 games in a row coming into tonight where we've had Ayers scoring 23. And also we should point out, of course, he was the A-10 Player of the Week because of his game scoring 23 against Bradley and Sunday against American.
First substitutions, O'Neill's going to come in for Bowling Green. Jackie Johnson about to come in for the Dukes. They'd like to get him going after he was hot against Weber. Last game you and I did together, Ellis. 27 for Johnson. He's cooled off since then. They want to get him back in the flow when possible. Still dancing near 50% from the 3, though, so you know he's going to take one of those sooner or later. Lots of flow here. No stoppages really so far to speak of. Easily might have gotten away with a step. Or 2. You noticed the pause in my voice, did you? Yes, I did. Well, that one was halfway down. Kind of a line drive shot from Easley, but it comes out. And Bowling Green back into the offensive end of the court. Plowden will try a 3. High, arcing jumper, swishes it nicely. Thought about it, decided to pull the jump shot, and that one was true. Preseason first team All-MAC. And the over 1,200 career points have something to do with that. And once again, an all-around player. He's only 30% from the 3, which isn't bad, obviously, but that's a nice connection for him. 15.3 points, 7 rebounds per game. Duquesne and 5 for Plowden, leading the orange and brown. Well, Williams is set up at that block just about the entire game. Hasn't he, Ellis? Going to the left shoulder to draw contact and then going with the right hand, and that one makes it 12-7 Duquesne. Well, they want to get him off. He really didn't play his top game against American. Coach just said he didn't have it. So let's see if they can get him rolling. So far, so good. O'Neill muscled underneath, but couldn't get the layup to fall. Now Spears with Johnson in the backcourt. Let's see how this goes with the flow between those two. That's definitely one thing they're trying to work out. And Ayers, too. 3 guys who can handle the ball, like their touches, and like their 3-pointers, as Ayers shows his 2nd of the night. Boy, his confidence level. We talked about this on Sunday against American, which was a bit of a hair pull for a while. Nonetheless, it went to Duquesne. He is just starting to seem so confident. Very confident shot from Samari Curtis as well. Averaging 5.5 points for the Falcons, and tied with Myron Gordon, who's unavailable tonight, with 14 assists. And of course, he's got a big trophy in his house. It says 2019 Ohio Mr. Basketball. Not a bad pedigree. Ayers, the drive, switches hands and finishes. So he's taking over. Talking about the confidence, he is really bouncing out there, and Keith Dambrot insisted to us for the first couple games where the offense wasn't clicking for Ayers. It'll come, we just need to get him schooled up defensively. They really worked with him defensively after practice the other day. And just basic stuff, positioning when he's set up in the half court on defense. You know, where to have hand placement, body placement. Nobody placed on defense on Curtis. He makes the Dukes pay, as he has baskets on back-to-back possessions. Yeah, Curtis a bit of a surprise starter, and he's making the most of it as he checks in now with 7, including 1 for 1 from the arc. And to finish the point on Ayers, he's been excellent off the ball. He challenges passes, gets a lot of steals, just on the ball hasn't been what the coaches want yet, and a foul on Williams as he went up. So he's in that mix at the 12.1. Also, you know, again, he's a nationally ranked top 20 in USA total blocks at 20, and he's 21st in the country with 2.9 blocks per game. See Austin Rotroff in the game now for Duquesne, playing defense against Brenton Mills and doing a good job of it as the Dukes get a stop. Jackie Johnson up to speed quickly, goes into the waiting hands of Kevin Easley Jr. Got a friendly bounce. The Dukes in front by 8. I like that nice, quick, efficient finish. Nothing on the floor, nothing fancy, just get it back in the hoop. Now Curtis going up against Acuff, foul on the floor. Acuff picks up his first.
You know, I think that there's a concern that perhaps Easley's playing maybe a little too much.
Well, him and Williams both. That was expressed by Keith Dambrot this week.
Yeah, and you can see it, 32 minutes a game for Easley, but he's first on the team in points. He's shooting 46 from the floor, so, you know, there's a lot of good things going on there, including rebounding nearly 7 a game, which is second. So he's given a lot of time, and that's both good and bad, perhaps.
Long rebound by Cam Young gave a second opportunity to Bowling Green, but it comes up dry, and Johnson has the ball in his hands in the front court for Duquesne. Bounce pass to Rotroff, gives it back to Johnson. He'll definitely shoot from there, and he hits. That's practically a free throw for Hughes and Weathers just about every game last couple of years too,
This
right?
is true, exactly.
He always wants to get more rest for his big guys and more minutes for the bench guys who are in the front court, but it's just not that easy. As depth of big men is a challenge for anybody to find it. And I know Keith always wants it, and he's sincere when he says it,
right.
But when you get in the middle of the game, it's just tough to do. And you feel like you're keeping some of your best interior post guys on the bench when maybe the game is slipping, or you think you can extend the lead, and next thing you know, they're playing 30-something minutes again.
Yeah, but like he said, the game has become more perimeter-based, and he has to change with that. He's an old-school guy. Finish.
Good look from Johnson to Rotroff.
Those guys are working well together.
Rotroff's done a lot of good things since he's come back into the lineup after missing the first few. That injury lingered into the season. A jump shot, ooh, banked in. Chandler Turner off the bench. But to finish the thought on Rotroff, the only thing he hasn't done well is shoot free throws. He's a lot of and one opportunities that have only ended up with 2.
Yeah.
And normally he's a good free throw shooter.
Yeah, he was earlier, but, you know, it's good to see him getting in and given time, and anybody who's followed his journey knows it's had, you know, it started phenomenally. Remember his first game we called, and, then he's had some injuries, and it's good to see him back out there.
I think Johnson got stuck in the middle there, deciding if he wanted to shoot that one or leave it up for an alley-oop.
Well,
looked that way.
You know, and you were talking about, you know, this whole thing about playing guys, and Coach says, you know, just the other day, Coach Damrot, you know what, I have to change the way I think. I mean, you know, I want to play a certain style, but the game's a perimeter game, and I need to sort of mix things up offensively and defensively with that in mind.
Shot tipped around and pulled down by Okani. Tries an entry to Easley. Okani goes aggressively, but lost it on the way up. And they're going to say that was a foul. Connie's trying to beg into it being a shooting violation. Not sure how. Let's take a look to see what it was. Oh no, that was. If they were calling it on the blow by there.
Right.
We don't know where the whistle was actually sounded. But if that was Turner, then that's definitely on the floor. And they do say it's on the floor. A long-range jump shot is no good from Acuff. Ooh, tied up underneath. Williams went down hard. He's holding his back. He's in some pain right at the 8-10 logo.
Yeah. You know, any time you have a fall like that, you know, you wince for a second because these kids play so hard. And here, that was even more pronounced. Probably took his breath away as well. He's up and away, though.
Acuff, by the way, 5 rebounds already in this game for Duquesne, one short of his career high of 6, which was set last week against Colorado.
Glad you mentioned him. I think between he and Okani, those two guys in particular are starting to find a role as far as I'm concerned. And not everybody's going to be averaging double points and all of that, but you can have a very prominent role, and I think both those guys do and will.
What we just saw right there from Acuff is exactly what Keith Dambrot was working on with Ayers. And a big block from Williams. It's going to go over to Duquesne.
So much for bad back.
If he's sore,
yeah.
Hate to see it, but he's healthy, right? Because he got up quickly and swatted that one away from Kulich Koveskis.
God bless you.
0 for 1. No. Swing and a miss.
If I were you, I'd take it.
Matisse Kulich Koveskis.
There. Perfect.
Thank you.
And maybe I could point out that where he's from and contribute to the cause. Yeah, that would be Latvia. See, I did that well.
Chandler Turner with a basket, and that gets Bowling Green to within 7. Now Spears, been quiet so far tonight. Gets it right back from Williams, runs out of real estate quickly. He's being shadowed by Brenton Mills. So this matchup goes on the offensive end. And a roll from Williams, bounces off the back rim, put back up by Easley, and he'll go to the free throw line after we come back. Second free throw good for Easley. Had a double-double against Colorado. Down to the Virgin Islands, 19 and 12. Also had one against Hofstra, 14 and 10. Very consistent, I think, so far for Duquesne. Air ball kept alive by Plowden. It's coming our way, Ellis. I thought we were going to have our first contact of the year, and you seemed not at all concerned.
They want some, here it is.
Did you have a read on the angle there? Maybe
I did,
it was a little
actually.
too shallow.
Yeah.
Did I come too far underneath?
Yeah, I think Paul and Zach over there were really in the line of fire.
Yeah, they were a little bit more in the danger zone.
Right.
Spears picked up by Mills, who's been on him ever since those two have gotten on the floor together. And a foul underneath. That's going to go against Plowden, I believe.
He's looking that way.
Ayers leading the way so far with 10 for the Dukes. Easley with 7. Curtis has 7 for the Falcons. Plowden goes out of the game. And it's his second personal foul, and that's why.
Yeah, he was out early. I mean, look, there are a lot of players, as we mentioned earlier, for Bowling Green getting a lot of time. And there's a couple schools of thought as to whether that's a good thing or not. In the case of Bowling Green's head coach, he says, look, I just got a lot of guys. I got some really good players, and, you know, you're trying to figure all this type out on the run, but, you know, I like my guys. Sometimes if you play too many, then maybe you don't have the chemistry developed with some of the key or core players. And so we'll see how that unfolds for both teams over the year.
And he did acknowledge that trend of, you know, 11 guys, 11 minutes at a time, that may change. Save underneath the basket from Acuff goes right to a Bowling Green Falcon player underneath. That's Diggs, and there's a foul. Acuff basically gave him a bounce pass for a second chance.
Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot to that. I mean, you're right. It'll taper off to a certain extent as we see the foul. But, you know, Tim, we saw 3 plays that involved Rotroff and Johnson. And, you know, I'm assuming they practice together quite a bit. And you could see where there's a little bit of that synergy that's come together between those two. So, again, it cuts both ways.
80% free throw shooter, Diggs, drains the second. So far this season at 9.7 points per game.
This is the MAC Sixth Man of the Year.
Shoots a lot of threes, and his stroke hasn't quite gotten to where Bowling Green thinks it can be or has been. As Coach Huger said, he's working his way into consistency from outside. Let's take another look at the whistle. There's a tie up there with Williams and Fulcher.
And you're looking at Coach right now, and
8 fouls already for Bowling Green.
Yeah, and he made that point you're talking about, the conversation you had with him about the idea that, you know, Diggs has maybe put a little pressure on himself, but he's in great shape and he's going in the right direction. It looks like a player for sure. Trey Diggs out of Niceville, Florida.
Free throw no good. No turnovers so far for Duquesne. Didn't have one in the second half against American either.
When we came out of the break, I was going to go there, and I went to the rebounds instead, but good point. As the Latvian.
Kulach Koveskis had one stop and almost die on the back of the back rim, and it somehow just sat there for a half a second, went in very calmly.
He looked over his shoulder to the bench, which was razzing him a little bit, and he smiled. He's not going to give it back.
No. Johnson picked up by Fulcher. Here's Johnson with the left, goes off the backboard through the legs of Reese, and now Easley can't get the shot off on time. I don't know if he thought it reset when the ball went up, but it clearly just hit the backboard and didn't get any rim.
Yeah, obviously defense is something that is very, very important for both teams, both coaches, and I know that Coach Uger pointed out to you, defending and making sure everybody's on the same page, or what he calls the Bowling Green page, takes time. And, that was good defense.
Falcons have it down now, Ellis, to 5 points with 5:15 left to go. Reese elevates, tipped back up. Oh, easily almost put it into his own basket. Now Johnson in transition has to take it away. Poke from behind. High dribble from Reese. Gets body under control and finishes with the right hand. And this is going to be one possession game here.
And seems to be emerging as a favorite. Joe Reese out of St. Louis through Old Dominion, and says it's been good for us. He shoots inside, outside, does everything they ask.
Johnson's kind of been out of control the last couple of possessions, had one loss from behind, then got tied up on the floor, and he's going to go back to the bench, it appears. Acuff will come back in.
Yeah, when that occurred, I was looking over at Keith, and Dan Brott literally just shook his head and gave a thumb to his replacement to come back, and he hasn't spoken to Johnson since.
Easley's going to the bench, so we talked about him trying to steal some minutes here and there. O'Connor's going to attempt to do that.
It's a good idea. I mean, Connie's got experience, obviously, with this team. He's the only returning starter.
2 for 2 in 16 minutes against American. Primo Spears takes the bump, uses the right hand. That's off the window, no good. Falcons looking to tie it up. Spears, the back hip of Fulcher. Well, that one's thrown away. Misread from Trey Diggs. As Kulach-Koveskis and he were not on the same page, not on the Bowling Green page, as Coach Ehrlich says.
And how's that defined, Tim? Attitude, commitment, and class, as Coach Uger said to you.
Yeah, he had that speech ready to go, man. I served it up, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, you gave him a couple of hanging curveballs.
Now Spears catches it too much on the lob attempt coming from Acuff. This is the second time we've seen Reese take it up in transition. The big man not afraid to dribble. Gives it back to Matheny. He'll rise for a jump shot and hit. Lead down to 1 for the Dukes.
You should point out one thing about Reese is that the coach told you what? He runs the floor well. Well, we've seen him run the floor 2 or 3 of the last possessions.
I noticed as soon as we gave the turnover stat, there were 2 right in a row, E.
Yeah, right. Notice. We're good like that.
I will give the blame on that one to Dave Saba, media relations guru here, wanted me to point that out.
Sure.
Yeah, this game has come a long way. Maybe not the acting skills, though.
No.
Now Matheny, watched by Spears. Been a lot of minutes from Kulach-Koveskis for Bowling Green right now. Pinned up against the glass by Williams. Tries to get another block. Oh, that's going to be a goaltending. A good offensive rebound from Reese, and looks like Williams got a little bit too excited there, and that allows Bowling Green to take the lead on the goaltend.
I tell you what, Reese coming in second as a scorer, 10 points a game, and he scored from underneath. He's got a 61% percentage from the field, and that's first on the team. So, and he runs and he brings that intangible, coach said, the energy, the bounce. You can see where he could really fit into a lot of teams.
O'Connor hoists a 3 and hits. An answer right back from the Dukes.
Now what, he shot 49% in conference play last year, and I have to tell you something. We had the line on that particular shot, and that was as nice a shot he's taken all season long.
Diggs gets the screen, enters too hot for Reese. Second time we've seen him misfire with someone in recent possessions on the offensive end. Spears runs the point. Ayers has cooled off a bit after getting the red hot start with 10 points. Now 4 of 8 from the field. O'Connor hit the last 3. Down to 17 on the shot clock. A little stagnation here in the offense.
Yeah, Primo was calling for something very, very specific, and he's looking right now.
He and O'Connor were not in sync on that for whatever reason. Nobody was moving between the two of them, and nobody was moving on the backside either.
O'Connor was in a position where you could see Primo, the guard, point guard 23 there out front, trying to get him to move. He didn't, and then there was a turnover.
Matheny uses the screen and hits a 3.
Which led to a 3. And the lead.
Falcons back in front by 1. Ayers looking to heat up again. Williams wants the ball off the foot of Trey Diggs. Like you said, the reigning MAC 6th man of the year. Bowling Green got the number 2 seed in 2020 in the MAC. In the canceled season, 14-12 a year ago in the CBI. Got the title game in 2019 of the MAC.
In the preseason this year, there are 12 teams in the MAC, and they were preseason number 6. They actually got 1 vote to win the whole thing. Oh!
Jump shot from the outside. It is a 3-pointer for Tyson Acuff.
How about that?
And we seesaw back and forth with 90 seconds left. And now that ball is stolen away by Spears. Has Ayers on the far side. He'll take it himself, they'll lay it up and in. And Duquesne now in front by 4 with a minute left to go in the first.
If the ball's out on the floor and it's free, I'll tell you, he smells it, man. He knows how to finish.
Kulach, Koveskis, and Matheny, too much traffic up high in the previous possession, and then feet got tangled up. And Spears is saying, what do you want me to do about that? You drew the football analogy before. That's sort of like incidental contact between a DB and a wide receiver, right?
Right. Well,
and Spears is a heck of a football player, too.
I was about to say All-State basketball, All-State football from Hartford.
Oh, he tripped at his own feet. He kicked himself in the ankle.
Well, I will point this out, Tim. I think for your sake, you're getting a big kick out of calling the Latvian's name. The worst thing that can happen for you right now is he doesn't play for the next 35 real-time minutes, because then you got to start all over again.
That's right.
It's rolling off your tongue like you're a native. 45 minutes from now, maybe a rebuild.
Bounce pass underneath, swatted from behind by Okani. Third block of the game for the Dukes. 2 by Williams, 1 by Okani.
Blocks, once again, a big storyline in this game. We should note, what, Loudon is still out, or is he?
Yeah, he's still out.
Yeah, I thought so.
Now down to 5 on the shot clock. Matheny loses the dribble as it's swatted away from Spears. 2 seconds left. Heaves one up, goes over the rim, and it's going to be a shot clock violation, giving the Dukes 31 seconds left before the half expires.
Do that up left-handed.
Any way he could.
Yeah.
Just trying to get rid of it, trying to draw some iron or something.
Right.
And I don't know if there's any contact there from Spears, but if there was, perhaps a minor makeup for the tripping violation that he was given when Matheny actually tripped himself up. And the Dukes will play for the last shot here. Slight differential between shot and game clocks. Spears calling out a play. Wants Okani to come up high. Gets a pick from Ayers, splits the defense, leaves it underneath, and it goes to Ayers. Yeah, couldn't hear the whistle at first. There was a foul underneath, though, as called by Brooks Wells, the referee. A little bit late on the whistle. I don't know if he kind of half swallowed it or what there, but yeah, Williams was fouled clearly underneath.
Tell you, Williams, I don't have the stats in front of me. I know that you may have some access to that, but Williams has played tough downstairs just like we thought he needed to do, and which I think they anticipated he would do after his game Sunday against American.
He's got 5 points right now. Actually, make it 6 with that free throw, and 5 rebounds after that last one.
There you go.
Second free throw, good. See what they're going to do with the lead going into halftime. And the ball is lost at midcourt. Ooh, I wonder if that's going to get looked at. I thought that was just cleanly lost on the sideline by Bowling Green. They saying it went off of Primo Spears.
And there we go.
Another glance.
Oh, nice elbow. You got to love that.
Yeah, that appeared to be just lost by Curtis. If there was not going to be called any contact, a little surprised they kept it with the Falcons.
Bowling Green played 11 players with a minimum of 4.5 minutes or so. The Dukes have 8 players that were in. Other than Rotroff's 3, everybody else had 7. So the reality is that the bench is shorter for Duquesne.
Loudon on the extra chance for the Falcons will go to the free throw line, so he's back in after sitting for much of the first half with 2 fouls. And they are within hailing distance, even though their best player didn't play very much in the first half.
That's a key point, and it really is, because we're not just talking about any player. We're talking about a guy that could take over the game, and that would really rev this place up quite a bit. In the sense that it'll bring a challenge from the Dukes. Now, free throw-wise for the year, well, maybe not exactly where he'd want it, but you take a look at his overall game, including those blocks I told you about. He's 57th in the country in that department, but he's not got anything here tonight that I can see so far.
I like the point that you made earlier, Ellis, about how through our first 2 TV timeouts, basically through the first 8 minutes, there was a lot of flow and a lot of pace to the game, and it kind of was choppy down the stretch in the first half, but easily starts out hot in the second half and hits a 3.
I think we both may have mentioned that it was flowing nice. The pace was wonderful for the first half, and then right about that TV timeout, it just and it got pretty sketchy. It was certainly a grind.
One thing Easley doesn't have a lot of is that pass is caught and finished by Joe Reese. But one thing Easley doesn't have a lot of on his shot is arc. He's a line drive hitter.
Who, Reese?
No, Easley.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Reese is too, to a certain extent, but you're right, 100%. But he'll take it from anywhere, and his numbers show it. Again, Tim, he's shooting 46% from the field.
Williams all by himself outside, thought about it, and a good decision as Trey Williams hits a 3. Back-to-back possessions, 2 3-pointers for the Dukes on offense here in the second half.
And I did mention the Dukes at times needing help with their 3 game, but they actually shooting the ball fairly well in that department tonight. 50% is more than well.
Matheny tries to answer and does so for the Falcons.
Tell you what, this guy last year was magic for them. It was all freshman team for the conference, 22nd in the conference in steals per game, 15 as well in three field goals a game.
Harris's 3-pointer, that one's no good, bounces off the back rim. Now contact underneath. Not sure who they'll get on the foul here if they're giving it to Easley. It looks like they will. And they're just gonna say that Plowden drew it. Wasn't sure if they're gonna give it to Easley or to Williams. Actually, they are gonna give it to Williams upon further review. That seemed to be the more proper call there. If there's contact to be had to the point that a foul was needed, I thought it went against Williams. See the high overhead look. As Williams up high at the elbow, playing defense against Reese. Matheny pulls back with another jump shot and another 3.
There we go. You said last year he averaged about 2 a game, and he was 15th in the conference with the 3 ball.
4 of them so far hit in this second half between the 2 teams. A little tug on the jersey of Ayers, no call. And now we've got a foul way away from the hoop, and Reese throws his hands up on his head in disgust. He knows that's one he shouldn't be picking up.
So Matheny has what? 3 threes so far, if I have it correct.
Yeah, 3 of 6 from the outside. Oh, let me take that back. I'm sorry. 2 of 7. I don't know if they caught up on our score sheet here.
Yeah.
It's 3 now, yeah. He'll play defense on Spears, who goes to the left hand, stops just outside the paint, kicked away by Williams. Hands it off to Acuff. Got to get going here with the offense. Just 7 left on the shot clock. Acuff into the corner. Spears decides to rise with the J. No good. Rebounded, though, by Easley. Second chance for the Dukes. Falls away and hits. Easley makes the most of the offensive rebound.
He did this against American the other day, and it reminded me that he loves that shot. He'll take that all day long, whether it's just a simple turnaround or whether he just is facing the rim. He loves that shot.
He's got 11 for the team lead right now. The roll to Reese. There it is, a little bit late on the recognition. Plowden pushes it skyward, gets the loose ball back and finishes.
Yeah, I got a feeling
Reese wanted that ball badly as he made the dive to the tin and didn't get it right away. Kind of threw off the rhythm of the play, but Plowden was there to pick up the garbage.
I got a feeling Plowden's going to have a game here in the second half, Tim.
Plenty of rest, plenty of legs left. Giving it right back to Easley. Quick ball movement. Acuff 3. Off the rim, and it's rebounded strongly by Ayers. It's going to go over to the Falcons, though. And now, one possession game. If Bowling Green hits another 3, we're tied once more.
Tim, I saw something really interesting there. Shot taken from the outside. The second the ball left the hand of the shooter, quite candidly, I don't even know who shot it. Forgive me, I know you mentioned it. I was watching Plowden. He made a beeline to get underneath the hoop and put a hip on somebody. That's how you become a nationally ranked rebounder.
Intercepted by Trey Williams. Acuff will run it into the front court. And they're going to say a little bit too sticky on the defense from Samari Curtis. 46-43. That's how we go to break. Ellis Cannon, Tim Benz. Duquesne led for 6. Their hair's on fire when they play against A-10 teams because a lot of them have been cross-scouted by the schools and recruited by the schools. And there's a little risk there if you lose. There's some benefit if you win, of course. Oh, now there's contact. Acuff hit in the face. And the contact came from Samari Curtis. Let's take another glance. Got him right in the nose. Curtis knew right away that was not intentional. He was obviously going for the ball.
Yeah, Curtis just went over to Acuff. By the way, we've been mentioning Curtis in just about every scenario. Now we're at the poking eye level. You've mentioned his name quite a bit. No, you're right. I mean, because there is that recruiting thing.
Right.
I mean, obviously Duquesne does spend time out there, and you get a loss here and there against a team from the MAC. And
all the MAC schools said, see, we beat Duquesne.
Because it's the A-10.
Diggs crosses into the paint. Rebound by Easley. Haven't seen Johnson here in the second half. In fact, after that rough pair of possessions, we haven't seen him at all, Ellis.
Oh, no. Right, no.
Williams outside the paint, slings it to Easley. Jump shot, yes. Good eyes on the feed from Trey Williams. And plenty of time to take the jump shot from Easley.
I don't know whether or not we take enough time talking about him being at TCU because that's a big-time conference, to put it politely, and he just gets the ball off quick.
Hear the communication between Acuff and Williams. Tell him to stay as Curtis gets rid of the ball. Plowden rises, shoots, no good. Rebound, airs. Said Plowden came back with even higher vertical than what he had before, and he had a pretty good one before. Airs his spin move, bounces around the front, back, and then in. It was slapped in. I think Diggs might have gotten the lion's share of that basketball and went in his own net.
Yeah, the way he reacted was with his head to the sky, like, nah. No, you're absolutely right. Bowling Green's head coach made it very clear. Plowden's excellent, 40-inch vertical leap, even more, and bigger, stronger, all the great things you could say.
Fade away from Athene, who's feeling it in the second half.
Coach loves this kid.
Coming up on the 14-minute mark, Duquesne by 6. Spears probing. Now Williams gives it off to Acuff. Runs into some traffic. Acuff will take a three-pointer way off, and it falls down to the floor, picked up by Plowden. Athene pulls up, launches off the mark. Rebound Spears. Has a man up front, it's Ayers. He called for it, didn't get it to him. Spears at full speed, right hand, no good. Out of control there, and it's taken back by the Falcons. Nice look underneath. Plowden calmly with the up fake, uses it, uses the window.
Curtis with a great look, and Plowden going down, and I obviously been focusing on him. He went down the left side of the lane, got himself in position. When that space opened up, he got the ball and immediately put it right in. 5
new substitutions about to check in. 2 for the Dukes, 3 for the Falcons. Right hand baby hook from Williams, no good. Didn't seem to be in his usual rhythm to set that one up as he normally does. Pull up, no. Now give it to Plowden. Pull back, jump shot, no good. Diggs tries to keep it alive, instead it goes over to Duquesne. Triggering back is Acuff. Spears, good fake there, made it look like he was going to pull up for the 3. Now gives it back to Ayers. Diggs on him. Acuff has a seam. Baby floater, yes. Tyson Acuff gets the lead back to 6.
You called Plowden now with the 3, and he had another jumper a little bit earlier in 96. So,
there's another coach with Bowling Green connections that we should know around here. Dan Bilesma.
This is true.
Also a Bowling Green Falcon. Saw him when Bowling Green came through a couple years ago. That jump shot no good. Tipped up and rebounded by the Falcons. Had Robert Morris for a hockey game. Came back when the alma mater was there.
That's a matchup.
Plowden gets the shot blocked. Kept alive, though. Forced. And it was interesting talking with Coach Huger about the transfer portal. He said what they're learning very quickly is kids that suffer, kind of like the high school level recruits that would come to an A-10 or a MAC school. As that shot is blocked from behind. A little tic-tac-toe passing results in a foul, though, and it easily would go to the line. But you get the point, right? That the recruiting of the high school kids now feels like it should be secondary in some eyes, because you got to recruit the portal first, because the portal kids already have experience and you might have known them previously. And especially when it comes to getting to know kids that you want to bring into your program, as he was talking about earlier, we talked about their three-pronged attitude, commitment, class combination of traits. As you see the foul and the blow-by before he usually went to the free throw line. He says it's a little harder to tell in the transfer portal, because maybe you get something from a coach that there was a falling out, or you didn't know them when they were 18, and a lot of times the kids that you knew when they were 16, 17, 18, you could see how they mature and develop with the traits that you're looking for. And it was just, an interesting conversation to have, because you can't stay away from the portal. Neither of these schools could. What would happen if they didn't this year?
Tim, I found that part of the conversation to be compelling. He said this is just the way it is right now. Good defense by Rotroff, good effort by Plowden. Rotroff on the foul? No. Yes.
Yeah, they are going to give it to Rotroff. Yeah, they got him on the far side there. It didn't look like much.
No, but to your point, though, I mean, that entire conversation as related to which is better, so to speak, quote unquote. There's no question the portal's a necessity, and yet you like to have the opportunity of somebody who you've been following, get to know, you have a longer-term relationship with. You throw COVID in the portal, what do you say? You spend a couple of weeks on the phone, and then you really don't even see them sometimes until they get on campus. And it may or may not be exactly what you were thinking you got.
Lead down to 4 now for Duquesne. It's kind of been hovering around this mark. Had 5 ties in the first half. This has been a fun matchup to watch on both ends. As Spears is able to shake Matheny on the spin. Pulls up at the elbow, jump shot, no good. Long off the back iron. Rebounded, though, nicely by Okani. Goes up strong, no foul there. Easley with the foul, pushes one up, and this time he'll go to the free throw line. The bench really wanted the foul on Okani first.
Yeah, they did. I liked what Spears did there. I just liked the fact that he got to the stop jump and got the shot, got great height, and that's something we've been seeing out of his game. Made another interesting point going back to what we've been talking about throughout the game, and that is that, the feel for the game is changing amongst that team, and that's very much on display. I think when Duquesne came back from the islands, it jumped out at me, certainly against American. Not so much tonight. It's certainly a growing thing for this team. Filling each other out, filling out, the whole chemistry deal.
The second free throw is good, so the lead back up to 5. Bowling Green, of course, seeing departing Justin Turner, the first player to pass 2,000 points in program history. And you got to supplement that offense somehow. Plowden taking another step, that's for sure. And we should point out he's already up to 10 points here, Ellis, after that slow, foul-plagued first half. He's definitely been imprinting on this game a lot more. That arcing three-pointer doesn't fall for him, though. O'Connell finding hard for the rebound. And O'Connell gets it now to Ayers. Bounce pass to Williams, draws a little contact. Just enough of a bump from Plowden to decide to give it back to Ayers.
Nice defense.
Yeah, good D on the double team there to prevent the drive from Ayers. O'Connor's shot no good, and Plowden gets the board. He's up to 6 rebounds now.
Yeah, he's starting to feel every aspect of his game. Should point out Williams, I mentioned earlier, he's been playing very well down low. He's got 4 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with his 10 points, and he's played an all-around game as he's D'ing up here against a smaller guy.
Well, Matheny wanted to foul, didn't get it. Obviously had the quick disadvantage, eyed that up right away with Williams. Now lob the other way and a dunk for O'Connor.
Williams sets that up, though. Williams stayed aggressive, moved his feet exceptionally well against a shorter, quicker Matheny, and yet on the other hand didn't commit the foul, and the ball turned right around.
Offense from defense for the Dukes, up by 7. Pass too high for Plowden, tries to save it. Picked up by Matheny, good work by those two. Matheny's cooled off a little bit here after some threes to start the half. Jump shot, yes, Matheny, body control, created the space and got the jumper to go.
It was rarity to see Duquesne fly up the court like that. Not literally, but we'll look at transition points here in a moment, but they had 32 fast point breaks, fast break points just last Sunday, and that was an era high under Keith Dambrot.
Oh. Williams, as he goes to the deck hard, wanted the contact, didn't get it. As we can see, Acuff with the lob to Okani, two of the returning players for Duquesne showing the chemistry here.
So much I've been saying, I could see those guys working so well together, playing, finding roles, being very important cogs in what's going on.
Seen a lot of looking at the officials from both teams, Ellis, as this game has gone along. Some easy stuff has been called fouls, and now everything is being expected to be called, and it's leading to some frustration from the players. Ayers catches it and pulls a three-pointer back, and it goes out of the rim after it was halfway down. Foul on the floor with 8:39 left to go. How did that come out for Ayers?
A perfect rotation, and it was halfway down.
Rattled in and out of the rim and came back out again, and Duquesne will try to maximize the possession, up by 5 with about 8.5 left. Rochoff goes out. 6th foul, team foul on the Falcons. Williams checked by Fulcher. Williams angles and one. Trey Williams will go to the free throw line to try to complete the three-point play.
I mean, you know, if you're that man right there, Williams, you just have to go up. He loved the matchup against Fulcher. 6'3", 180 sophomore out of...
Look at the spin.
Right, out of Ohio. And he knew that that was to his advantage, and the spin was excellent. Really, really good bounce-back game. I'm almost guaranteeing Keith Dambrot will be talking about that after the game, because he noted after Sunday's game, he just didn't think, quote, that Williams had it, I think is what it was what he said. He has it tonight.
Free throw no good. The Dukes once led by 11 in the first half. By the way, congratulations to the women. They won here earlier, 69-60 over Canisius. Three-pointer is up and good. Matisse Kulackoveskis.
Oh, the 45 minutes didn't trip you up.
Your predicted wait time, E.
Standing, though. Yeah, but my predicted concerns were misplaced.
Primo Spears with the crossover. Oh, lost for a moment by Acuff. Now gets it back. Defense all over him from Curtis. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Duke's got to get the offense going. To Ayers. Picks up the dribble, leans, uses the window. Rebounded by the Falcons.
What was that?
From Plowden.
Woo!
Kulackoveskis, up fake. Notice Matt Fargo had the same reaction, our public address announcer, when he was able to belt out Matthias's name.
Yeah. Well, I'll be concerned, or know that you're a double agent maybe. If I ask you something and you don't say yes, you say da.
All right, we will step aside.
I mean, that to me is what makes him even more complete. But yeah, we'd be remiss if we didn't point out how he bounced back from that game as you did. There we go. This is what I'm talking about.
Uses the right hand, calm, patient, made some moves, but it doesn't go down for him. Spears in control of the dribble for Duquesne. Lost it, though. Now out in front and laid in nicely by Josiah Fulcher.
Like the left there. By the way, Tim, it's so funny listening to you and Coach Dambrot. He said very quickly that Plowden was their best player, but almost immediately got into Matheny. I mean, just literally, as quickly as he talked about how good it was that Plowden was, he talked about the guard out of Morgantown.
Spears the up fake, didn't create the space he was looking for. Now cradles the ball, rolls it off the rim, no good. Chance for Bowling Green to tie here. Or take the lead, which they do. On the wing, answering the call, and the Falcons are back in front by 1.
Wow, it's been a long climb.
Duquesne nursed that lead for as long as they could, and now the Falcons have taken it back. Easley and Williams running the two-man game, trying to get the answer as Williams is hit on the way up. A lot of ball, I thought, initially by Plowden, but he'll get called for the violation.
Fulcher 1 of 1 for the 3 balls tonight. He came in really only, 5 at 12, 42%. You'll take that, but that was money right there. And once again, Williams at the line.
Boy, I think just saw the reaction underneath as the first free throw hits every part of the rim and then comes off. There's some laughter between one of the officials and Kulackovskis, as he was the one that was tagged for that foul, not Plowden.
Right.
And that might be a break in a certain way for Bowling Green, even though he's got 4 now.
Well,
that avoids Plowden getting his 3rd.
Right. They'll take the trade-off, although the Latvians played well for them. He's given them good time. He's hit a couple outside shots.
Yeah, a couple 3-pointers have fallen for him.
Nice.
And there's Plowden with the dunk.
Woo.
And the Falcons in front by 3.
The dunk was beautiful. The pass was electric. How fast it exploded. That was exceptional basketball.
Plowden on Spears. Stutter step with the dribble. Gave it out to Ayers, and he started too soon. Travel. Ball goes back over to both.
12. Easily the 18 you mentioned. Williams with 12. And then basically after that, you got Acuff and Akani with 5.
Well, you've heard Keith Dambrod say it, and he really verbalized it to us in advance of this game. As the Falcons look to convert again. No such luck, though, and the Dukes get it back. He's
that was a prayer.
Gone 15 years, he says. The last time I can think of a team that I had that was this backcourt oriented, that was more perimeter oriented. He much prefers to have the strength and depth of his team be up front. And we saw that quite a bit with guys like Hughes and Weathers in recent additions. That drive results in a foul, baseline from Ayers. But now, you know, when you rely on the backcourt guys as much as you do in the outside shooting, sometimes you get more erratic up and down results.
Right. And this is sort of why I was mentioning earlier the comments made by Ayers after the game about creating space by coming up one side of the court, finding somebody on the other side, and then opening up an opportunity there rather than relying on the 3 as much as they were. And I think that's an excellent point.
First free throw of the night for Ayers. That gets him to 13 points. Free throw stripe has been a bit of an adventure for Duquesne. They've missed a couple. At least Easley has missed 3. Williams has missed 5. Let me get that back. Let me try that again. Williams has missed 5. Easley has missed 3. 6 of 9 for Easley. 3 of 8 for Williams. Oh, good play there at the midcourt stripe from Spears. Now he does get it loose. Never gave up on defense. Primo Spears. Now Ayers, goes high with the left. He got fouled on the way up. Tried to have an exclamation point dunk, but he draws the foul anyway.
Well, what set that up, though, was a turnover that now pretty well makes me believe that we won't see fouls the rest of the game. I mean, that was harsh. And then it went to the rim, and it was challenged, and according to the official, a foul. You're right about Keith. I mean, he loves to have those big guys and talks about having a high school-sized team.
26 of 30 from the stripe coming in from Ayers. He's now made his first 3. He'd been really quiet after that 10-point outburst to start the game. Now up to 15 points after these last couple of trips down at the free throw stripe. Second one good. He came back in front after the charity stripe work from Leon Ayers. Coming up on the 4-minute mark. Spears hounding Curtis, who was able to use the window and get the basket. Bowling Green back in front.
If I mentioned how often you've mentioned his name, and we didn't expect him to start tonight.
Ayers, thought about the 3. Now decides to take the 3 from even deeper out and nails it! Leon Ayers reconsidered, and it was a good move as the Dukes get a 2-point lead back.
Been a bit of a rugged night from the field for him, but nonetheless, he'll take it. 6 of 14 overall, but that 3 was perfect from the moment it left his fingertips.
Now Reese looking to see where Plowden was. Good roll after the pass, and 1 from Reese. Well, they talk about the energy that he brings, and he just brought 2 to tie it back up again. We'll get the free throw when we come back. Looks like it's going to be a heck of a finish, 66-66, with 3:44 remaining here on the Bluff.
That's really great.
Another look at the hoop from Reese.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I love how smooth and efficient. Doesn't worry about getting it on the ground or anything like that. Just real nice, quick finish. And again, another nice look. We've started to see that consistency a little bit more with the defense for Bowling Green as well. That was something the coach harped on after the game against Chicago State about, there are moments we were locked in, then it let go. But right now, there don't appear to be many lapses. The focus is right on. By the way, we've talked a couple times here somewhat playfully about Curtis getting so much of Tim's attention tonight. 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2, 4 rebounds, 7 assists in 24 minutes. And one of those assists was one of the most beautiful assists I've seen all season, and that was one that led to the dunk by Plowden that put, had the orange and brown ahead.
19 personal fouls for the Falcons as the free throw is missed. Just 9 for the Dukes. Kulachkovskis is the only player with 4, and Plowden has 3. Nobody with more than 2 for Duquesne.
I'm going to use that as a marker. That made it 62-59, that dunk. Go right ahead, Tim.
Are they going to call it a goaltend? Hold on, they're going to talk about it. Ayers thought it should have been a goaltending and 1. They're going to get the foul on the floor, though, it appears. Nope, it could be 2. All right, so you could say.
Wait a minute.
2 free throws coming for Ayers. You see it again?
Yeah, I
think it was a goaltend?
I
Let's look at the officials.
Yeah. I'm not sure I saw anything.
Oh. And Ayers, who had been perfect to the line. You know, it's kind of interesting. I was noticing this.
Here we go.
Come to fruition again. Let's take a look at the shot from Ayers.
No, I didn't see anything. I
thought the right call was made. Duquesne +1 here. But the Dukes have missed 9 free throws, 14 of 23. So you look at the opposing team's free throw shooting percentage against Bowling Green. It's only at 66%.
Right.
As Reese takes one from outside.
And, you know, that's the inconsistency that teams that are trying to come together and figure things out will have. I mean, it was just Sunday where the Dukes were 26 of 33, 79% from the free throw line. They had everything working that game. 58% from the field, second best in the 5 years of Dambrod. Again, I mentioned the fast break points, but tonight's a tougher challenge.
Spears and 1. The baseline spin, the right-hand body control, and Primo Spears, despite the tough night on the floor, gets that one to drop.
You know, he's not only resilient, he literally, he's like a cornerback in the NFL. To your point earlier about it's been a bit of a rougher night offensively for him, that's not going to stop him when he believes that's the call. That's the number and that's the play.
Spears' free throw makes it a 4-point edge for the Dukes. Now we've seen the guards take back over,
Yep.
To our earlier conversation.
Yes, that's exactly right. Nice
Another
look.
good look from Curtis, but the dunk doesn't fall for Reese. A foul, though, on the way up. You are right about his vision.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm such a big fan of that. I just think that's basketball IQ, that's awareness, that's execution, that's all the things that I think make up a really good, solid player and solid play. Hey, the backcourt's the key. I mean, Keith told us that earlier in the year.
First free throw good from Reese. You know, for as much as we heard about him coming in, didn't feel like a game he was owning all that much, Reese, until the latter stages of the second half. I think from about the, what would you say, about the 10-minute mark, 8-minute mark on in, he's been good.
Yeah, right.
He's been much more prominent. This is the second, though. Still a one-possession game as the Dukes are up 3.
I think Bowling Green has amped up its game generally, offensively and defensively, in the last 5 or 6 minutes of real on the clock basketball. Both sides.
Easily in front of his own bench, still has the dribble, tries to move on Plowden. Gives it up to Acuff. Return to Easley. Gets Plowden in the air. Tough angle shot, rebounded by Plowden. Ooh, almost lost it. Here's Curtis with the stutter step. Now Matheny didn't have the time or space to take a 3. We've just hit the 2-minute mark. Bowling Green down by 3. Matheny, raindrop no good. Follow tip, yes, from Reese, who continues to turn it on as the game moves along.
It's 6-9. To your point just a few minutes ago, he's been turning it up, and frankly, without a body being on him, and as smooth and as efficient as he is, it's a mismatch.
He's up to 11. Important possession here for Duquesne, leading by 1. And they're going to say that Ayers stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Turnover goes to the Falcons.
We need a drone, Tim Benz. We need a drone because that's that blind spot where we can't see it. And it's happened several different times.
Happened down here on the other end, too.
Yeah, here we are.
Oh
yeah,
for sure. back foot, no doubt about it.
See what the drone does for us?
Williams sticking with Matheny. Now Plowden puts it on the deck. Goes up, bounces off the window, no good. Rebound Bowling Green. High arcing shot on the follow, no good. Reese keeps it alive and it goes to Ayers. In transition, he's got Spears on the wing. Ayers, spin, out of control, charge.
Well, we're gonna see it right here. Ayers turns.
Oh. You know, we saw one flop warning earlier. I'm not gonna call that a flop. I'll just say that Fulcher went down easily when he felt the contact.
I tell you one thing, that was a sequence on the offensive side Bowling Green may regret. They had 3 peeps.
And a big shot delivered by Samari Curtis.
Oh, Tim, this guy we're going to talk about all year long.
7.
Bowling Green is, or fewer, with Duquesne and keeping the core guys together.
9 of 17 from three-point range are the Falcons. Spears gets to the paint, stops the A-10 logo. That one is short. Williams loses it on the way up, and it's going to stay with the Dukes.
That was a good challenge. It was a shot we've seen Primo make. Didn't really get anything, and then a nice strip.
Corner 3 from Ayers, rattles out. Man, he's had 2 of those in this half where it's been halfway down, and now a foul underneath on a Reese from Williams.
A lot of times we see him take that shot from a stationary position. He was in motion when he took it, and he almost put it through. As we see Reese, another dominant person, as you pointed out.
Oh, that was just a little bit too far off the back rim.
It was a nice shot. What do you have for Reese for, Tim? Free throws.
So far in the game, 1 of 3, make it 2 of 4, and make it a 3-point lead for Bowling Green. That's 12 points now for Reese to go along with 10 rebounds.
Came in as a 57% free throw shooter, and in your conversation with Coach Huger, you guys laughed about maybe he could have made a few more free throws for you, they would have won. How about that for irony?
Timeout called by Bowling Green as they now made it a 2-possession game. Yeah, if you look at some of the numbers coming in, what we've seen so far for Reese, just 56% from the stripe, 13 of 23 on the season.
Right.
10-point per game score, and if he makes a few more of those, who knows, right?
Absolutely, and you know how much I love doing this with you and this whole crew we have. But I have to tell you, the conversations with the coaches are always the best scouting report. They're better than any stat, they're better than any article or anything. And you could read between the lines. It's not just ironic that came up. I mean, obviously it is. But on the other hand, I suspect because of the way Coach Huger reacted when you brought that up.
It's something that's been talked about.
Exactly.
1 timeout left for each team. That was an issue against Weber State, as we can recall, with Jackie Johnson. For each team. That was an issue against Weber State, as we can recall, with Jackie Johnson. Down to 30 seconds. Spears to Williams. He'll try a 3-pointer off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Bowling Green. That one just barely grazed the front iron.
Well, Duquesne had, if not control of this game, they certainly were in a position to have control, and now they're...
You know, they just never quite did what they so often do in the second half, which is stretch things out or have that really big second half push. Free throw missed, though. That gives life to the Dukes.
That's a big miss.
Ayers, 3-pointer, back rim no good.
Oh.
Reese gets the rebound, and he's touched on the way by from Easley. Conversation going on between Ayers and Ron Taberski. That was a break for the Dukes, and they couldn't take advantage of it on the free throw miss.
You know, you hear coaches talk about their players, and sometimes you wonder, well, we don't see them all that often, and, you know, maybe it's just praise, and I don't mean to be dismissive, but I tell you, Huger gave you some things, Tim, that are just so much on point. I'm looking at Reese again. Energy, the intangibles, running the court, bouncy, does everything well for us. Tell you what, Tim, he's been impressive. 3 years at Old Dominion.
Ayers 20 to lead the way for Duquesne, which is 6 of 15 from the floor. Second free throw hit, so he's been clutch at the line tonight. Spears steps on the gas, leaves it from Ayers from way outside. That one's no good either. Another rebound for the Falcons and another foul for Acuff. And Bowling Green can taste it now.
Yep.
Fans start to leave the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, and it looks like Bowling Green is en route to evening their record at 4-4.
Well, the rebounds, it's early, but when they win the rebounding game, Bowling Green, they'll now be 3-0. And that, I don't think, is an automatic number to look at throughout the year, but I do know that that is a defining characteristic of how this team wants to play basketball. And when they play that basketball, so far, so very good.
Just 8 seconds left. A lot of this feels largely academic now. Spears' three-pointer, that one misses 2. No fouls here, and that'll do it. 78-70.